What's going on, fellas? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and for this one I had a bunch of you guys requesting that I give y'all a full in-depth walkthrough of everything you need to know about the Fantastic Four Epic Quest, how long it's gonna take you to complete this thing from start to finish, and how much resources are you expected to have on hand if you want to get this thing done as quickly as possible. Now, first and foremost, if you're a super ultra mega whale that spends money like it's nothing, right? You spend money left and right, you can complete this thing in a matter of 4 days or 4 resets. Yeah, it's that short. You can get through it like it's nothing. However, if you're like me, you know, like a young whale, a whale in training, or just strictly free to play for the most part and only spend when you absolutely need to spend, it's gonna take you 5 to 6 days. And honestly, to me, 5 to 6 days is absolutely nothing. We waited 4 years for these guys to come to the game. Honestly, I would recommend that you don't spend additional crystals outside of purchasing the deluxe package, because I've seen so many people blowing through this thing and it's just funny to me, spending an additional 3,000 4,000 crystals just to save yourself 24 to 48 hours. It really doesn't make any sense to me, but that's not my problem. Okay, to each his own. I'm not here to knock you guys. If you want to blow through this thing as quickly as possible to get Dr. Doom, hey, that's all you, man. Moving on, let's actually talk about everything you need to have on hand. So first mission, you can see, is pretty easy and straightforward. You just gotta clear 10 story missions, and you can clear ticket these. You don't actually have to run them, and anything that doesn't say you need to use Mr. Fantastic, you can just go ahead and clear ticket it. However, special missions, I would ideally recommend that you do not clear ticket these, because you're going to be missing out on the shifter bios. Most of you guys are going to say, well, I don't care about the shifter bios, I just want to get this thing done as quickly as possible. Well, if that's the case, that's all you, bro. But bios are very valuable in this game. There's so much you need them for, to rank up characters, to tier 2 characters, to build uniforms, right? To rank up characters from level 60 to level 70, you need bios. Seriously, you should never be sacrificing bios by clear ticking special missions. You're missing 5 to 10 every day by just doing your 20 by clear tickets. That's just me. Anyways, moving on, in the dark, you just gotta clear 1 daily mission, and honestly, do the bare minimum when it comes to the epic quest. Don't do more than you need to. And what I mean by that is, I'm the type of person where when I'm running my daily, I'll do both at the same time. When it comes to doing the epic quest, do exactly what they say you need to do and no more, because oftentimes you are required to repeat something you did previously, and if there's limited entries, you just screwed yourself and set yourself back. So do only one of your dailies here and save the additional one, because you're going to need it later on. Number 4 on this list, you need to actually do a research mission, and these are actually pretty annoying, but this one is pretty decent. You only need to burn 500 gear up kits, and if you've been playing this game for any length of time, you have 500 gear up kits, so this is nothing to you. Next is actually to play 5 timeline battles. You don't actually need to win these, so that's actually pretty easy. Then you got to use that additional daily clear that I was talking to you guys about previously. Moving downwards, we have our first search mission, and these are actually really annoying because it's all RNG and it takes ages if you're really unlucky. Later on, they get so difficult that you can expect to spend almost 1,000 energy or more just to get it done. This one though is pretty easy. You just gotta clear ticket some story missions to find 20 of these portable bridge parts. Moving on, we have the Inhuman nature. That just requires you to spend 100 energy. That's pretty easy and straightforward. Next, we have one of the new missions that we got with the epic quest, Inhuman Princess. You gotta clear this thing twice. There's only 3 entries per day, and you cannot refresh these with crystals. So like I was saying before with the daily missions, only do the bare minimum, and like you see for yourself, you are required to use Mr. Fantastic. Please guys, please read before you do your missions, especially when it comes to stuff that you can't refresh. I can't tell you guys how many times I've started a mission and noticed that, hey, Mr. Fantastic is not on this team. I actually have to close the app, then come back and rebuild my team. Otherwise, I would have wasted a day, right? This could really set you back multiple days if you let it happen multiple times. This actually happened to me several times while I was doing Deadpool's epic quest, okay? So yeah, be very careful, boys. Moving on, we have another research mission, and and this one actually requires that you use 500 dimension debris. You should have those things lying around. I always have like 500,000 on hand, so 500 is absolutely nothing to me. Next, you gotta get Crystal to 3 stars. That's pretty easy and straightforward. If you've been playing for any length of time, you should already have Crystal at 6 stars because she's one of the best special mission characters in the game. And next up, we have a research mission that says you need to create a uniform for Crystal. No, this will not give you her Fantastic Four uniform that is in the game, okay? This is just a mission that requires you to build something to help Reed to complete this epic quest. It's kind of unfortunate because that would be really cool if you could just make the uniform in game and not have to pay crystals to get it, right? That would be pretty cool. That's a feature Netmarble should consider. Anyways, you gotta do a research mission here, and it requires that you sacrifice 8 rank 3 black antimatter and 100 chaos normstone. For people like me, these research missions are absolutely nothing. I prefer them over the search mission. If I could choose to do this every single time instead of doing the search missions, I would definitely do it because I've been playing for a long time, so I have a ton of resources stacked up. For newer players, this will be painful for you guys for sure. Then you gotta spend 2 million gold. That's pretty easy and straightforward. Next up, we have another research mission, and this is actually more like a search mission than anything else because you're really just running story missions. You can clear ticket these, and you're trying to collect cosmic energy scanners, and you need to find 30 of these. If you're really lucky, you could get it in 30 tries. If you're unlucky, it could take you 300 tries. Good luck, boys. Honestly, these kind of research or search missions take a ton of energy, and I absolutely hate them because there's so much RNG in it. Seriously. Then we got Finding the Fantastic, and you gotta clear Inhuman Princess 4 times. Mr. Fantastic has to be used, and this is one of the reasons why I said you should do the bare minimum. If you had only ran Crystal twice before Crystal's mission, Inhuman Princess, if you had run it twice before, you have an additional entry now, so you can use 1 today, and then when it refreshes at the reset, you can do the 3 that you were allowed, and then that would allow you to push further, and then you can rank up Crystal. If you don't already have her ranked up, you should rank her up to 5 stars to move forward. Then we gotta do 10 special missions. Like I said, run these manually or on auto. Don't clear them. Don't auto ticket them. Don't auto clear them, guys. It's not worth it. Then you got to participate in timeline battle 10 times. These are super easy. You can win or lose. It doesn't really matter. Then we got clobbering time. You can farm bios for the thing here, and you just got to clear it 5 times with Mr. Fantastic. Super easy, super straightforward. Then we got another research mission. This one actually requires that you use 1,000 Mcron shards. That is pretty painful for those of you guys who are still mastering and building the X-Men. If you're still grinding for bios for Nightcrawler and X-23, you're gonna have to pick your poison. I had to give up those shards because, yeah, I want to get Doom, even though I still don't have X-23's uniform at Mythic, and I still don't have tier 2 Nightcrawler. Doom is way more important to me, okay? So I had to sacrifice those. Moving forward, you actually have to rank up the thing to 3 stars. You can just grind his missions daily, use tickets on him, but I would ideally recommend that you use Shadowland selectors. Next up, Villain Siege. You want to clear this twice. Save your entries. Like I said, if you have an additional entry left after, save it, even if you have to do something for the heroic quest. Honestly, I put the heroic quest on pause mode as soon as the epic quest came in. This became my first priority. I missed out on getting some additional rewards over there, but it was fine. Completely fine with me. I'd rather lose some rewards over there and get Doom on the way, baby. Then you gotta clear Mean and Green 2 times. This is actually She-Hulk's mission, so we now officially have a way where we can farm She-Hulk's bios, and that's actually really cool because she's actually a really good character now in her uniform, and I look forward to bringing you guys a lot of gameplay with her because I've been having so much fun with her. And like the mission says, you want to use Mr. Fantastic when you clear it. Next up, you gotta get She-Hulk to 3 stars. You should already have She-Hulk at 6 stars because she's one of the best characters in the game for her leadership alone. I use that thing every single day. Okay, not a day goes by where I don't use She-Hulk for her leadership alone. And now, like I said, in her uniform, she's a good character, so you should definitely get on that. Then we have another research mission, and like I said with Crystal, you don't actually get the uniform for She-Hulk. You're crafting it, but you're just crafting it so she can help Mr. Fantastic in this side of the game. Okay, you don't get the uniform. I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, oh my goodness, I get the uniform by just... No, you don't. Okay, unfortunately you don't. I wish you did. And to complete this, you need to use 5 rank 4 black antimatter and 300 chaos norm stones. I prefer these kind of missions just because I have a surplus of resources. I hate doing the ones where you have to look for stuff and so much RNG is at stake. You can burn through so much energy and it really sets you back when you're clearing the other content in the game. Then we got 2 daily missions. That's pretty easy and straightforward. Then we got to get She-Hulk up to 5 stars. She should already be at 6 stars. Then we got 2 villain siege clears. That's pretty easy and straightforward. Then we got to get the Thing to 5 star. That's pretty easy as well. And then we got another one of these bloody search missions. Oh my goodness, like seriously boys, this search mission, salvage job, I remembered like it was yesterday. Oh wait, it was yesterday. This thing is a nightmare. I spent 1,000 energy, bro. 1,000 energy. That's a lot of energy. This thing is an absolute nightmare. I wish you all the luck in the world. I never want to do it ever again. So much energy had to be spent here, and it really sets you back when you're trying to clear game content, man. Seriously, good luck, boys. You gotta find 40 of these things, and yeah, it takes a while. 40 seems like a really low number, but believe me, boys, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad, and I was so upset. Then we got another research mission, and thankfully this time you're not searching for anything. You're actually just sacrificing some resources. It's Phoenix Feathers and Mcron crystals. So if you're building mutants, yeah, that's gonna be on pause for a minute, boys. It's gonna be on pause for a hot minute. Moving forward, we got Impending Doom, and like it says, you have to clear Clobbering Time 8 times using Mr. Fantastic on your team. Then we got Twisted World, clear Latverian Champion 2 times using Mr. Fantastic on your team. I think this boss fight is actually really cool. I won't spoil it for you guys, but yeah, I enjoyed that fight. Then you actually have to rank up Vicky to 3 stars. This is going to be a massive roadblock for a lot of you guys for a minute. If you're free to play, you get the option to pay to skip this. However, personally guys, I don't think it's worth it. I believe it was 600 crystals for 70 bios and some gold that they were offering me. I was like, no thank you. Thankfully, I had a bio subscription active, so I just used a 6-star mega rank up ticket and I was able to bypass this thing that way. Yeah, boys, good luck if you're free to play, man. It's gonna take you a hot minute because she pops in as a shifter for this thing, but it's like 1 or 2 bios a day. Yeah, good luck. Then you got to participate in Timeline Battle 5 times. That's pretty easy and straightforward. Then we got Up in Flames. Finally, you have a way to actually farm bios for Johnny. Oh my god, my boy Johnny, Mr. Fantastic has to be used. You gotta clear it 10 times. That's pretty easy and straightforward. Then you gotta get Johnny to 3 stars. Just use some Shadowland selectors on my guy and you'll be straight. Then we have another research mission. Thankfully, this is not one of the ones that require you to burn a whole bunch of energy trying to look for stuff. You just have to be willing to part with 1,200 Phoenix Feathers and 1,200 Mcron crystals. So no more mutants. Yeah. Pretty crazy, I know. If you were building any of the X-Men, they're on pause now until you complete this thing. Or this quest is on pause until you complete those X-Men. Yeah. Anyways, moving on, you can see for yourself, man, you got to combine 5 ISOs. That's pretty easy and straightforward. Then we got Claiming Victory. You got to go back and clear Latverian Champion 2 times. Mr. Fantastic has to be used. Always pay attention to when he has to be used. Then you got to rank up Vicky to 5 stars. Luckily for me, I already added 6 stars. Then you got to clear Clobbering Time 10 times using Mr. Fantastic. And honestly, at this point of the quest, because I had already cleared it more than 10 times for the day, I clear ticket this thing and it still worked even though I didn't run the mission manually. And I'm not sure if it's because the team I had set up when I was clear ticketing the mission had Mr. Fantastic in it. So yeah, not sure if that's a glitch that they will fix, but yeah, just fair warning, you can clear ticket it once to see if it works for you, but it worked for me. It may get patched later on in the future. Then we got Home Sweet Home, another research mission. This requires that you use 3 rank 5 black antimatter and 500 chaos norm stones. I prefer these, but I know some of you guys who are new to the game absolutely hate these because that's a lot of materials and a lot of gold, especially when Doom is in the wing. By the time you complete this freaking thing, you're gonna be spending so much gold, ranking up characters, building materials, and then you're gonna have to build Dr. Doom, who is gonna cost you about 100 million. Yeah, it's no joke. Then your first real test, kinda, you gotta win 10 timeline battles. Good luck. Choose teams that don't have debuff and then you'll be good. Okay, that's what I did. If I saw anyone that didn't have debuff removal, I was just like, okay, you're getting slapped because you should have known better. I say it all the time, you always gotta have debuff removal. Then we have Out of Gas, which requires you to spend 1,000 chaos norm stones. That's a lot. Even for someone like me that has a lot of resources, 1,000 chaos norm stones is no joke. Then we have Always Doom, which requires you to rank up my guy Johnny to 5 stars. Then we have Queen of Latveria, which requires you to clear Latverian champion 3 times. And then we have 4 once more, requiring you to clear 10 special missions. And then we have No Time to Waste, which is where I am right now, and it requires you to find 50 time platforms from Dimension Rift. And you guys can see for yourself, I'm at 15 of 50, and I was gonna run through this whole thing later on today, but then I realized that there's another roadblock ahead that would require me to spend crystals or wait an additional day. And like I said, I'm not spending any crystals. Shout out to the bros who hit me up to let me know what the additional requirements are for the epic quest, so I'll touch on that right now for you guys. So right after No Time Wasted, we have Castle Clash, and this thing simply requires that you clear 2 villain seed stages. Super easy, super straightforward. Then after that, we have Doomsday, which requires that you clear one of the new missions that we got from the epic quest titled Shadow of Doom. You need to clear this thing 3 times with Mr. Fantastic on your team. And then we have a Final Plea. This is gonna be my roadblock for today by choice, simply because for Final Plea it requires that you complete 15 special mission stages, and the limit per day is 20, and previously they required that you complete 10 special mission stages for 4 once more. I could easily just refresh this thing with crystal and complete the epic quest today, but I don't want to do that. I want to go through the thing without spending any crystals. That's just my forte. That's my cup of tea. I enjoy the grind. It's a part of the game. It's part of life. I don't want to spend any crystals if I don't have to, right? So after Final Plea, we have Crossing the Line, and Crossing the Line requires that you use 3 rank 6 black antimatter. And then we got Victorious, and this simply just requires that you upgrade a custom gear 10 times, and after that, Fantastic Voyage will automatically be completed. And that's everything you need to know about the Fantastic Four epic quest, boys. From start to finish, it's gonna take you 4 to 6 days depending on how much crystals and energy you're willing to spend. Honestly, shout out to the bros that hit me up letting me know what the last 6 things here that I need to do are. You guys are truly fantastic. Absolutely love you guys, man. I could not do it without you. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.